children or teenagers. Matthew Richards has the story.
These are happier memories of Shane Cooke. Fostered by Mary and Brian Hennessy when he was just 20 months old, he'd become increasingly anxious in his late teens and early 20s. He was prescribed Seroxat, and almost immediately his family noticed dramatic changes.
It's just like living with two people. You know, he was just like a split person. And this half of him was wanting to attack. The other half was saying, please get help and keep me and keep you safe.
During one of his most severe rages, Shane drove his car into the front doors of his local psychiatric unit. He was jailed for 2.5 years, despite becoming more stable once he was taken off Seroxat. Mr. and Mrs. Hennessy are travelling to Old Course Prison on Merseyside today to visit him. It's a trip they say they should never have had to make.
It would be far better for Shane's mental state were he not a prisoner. Our hope is that once he's back home again, and we are going to make sure that there is the support in the community for him, which he did not really have very much of previously.
Shane is one of hundreds of former British Seroxat patients who are looking to take legal action against the makers of the drug.
What we'd like to achieve is beyond what the courts will necessarily grant us. Sure, compensation is appropriate, but we also want to see clinical studies being carried out on this drug, better information given to the doctors and to the patients. We don't say this drug should not be prescribed forever. We recognise it does sound good. It's a question of giving the right information, and that's something that the drug company can do with us without us having to go to court.
The government's been advised that children and teenagers shouldn't take Seroxat because of claims that it can increase depression and lead to self-harm. And the Hennessys feel that all patients should be more closely monitored, but the manufacturers have denied that it's addictive and that it can cause suicidal tendencies. When he's released in September, the Hennessys say Shane will get regular psychological support, the best kind of medicine.
Well, one of the world's leading experts on Seroxat is consultant psychiatrist Dr. David Healy from the Bucky Bullet in Bangor, who joins me now from our Bangor newsroom. Dr. Healy, you've studied a number of Seroxat users, including Sean Cooke. Is it possible that a drug that's supposed to alleviate depression could actually make it worse?
Yes, it is. The reports that drugs pretty much of the same kind as this can cause problems like this go back 45 years or so. During the 80s, when this group of drugs, the SSRI group of drugs, which Prozac and Seroxat are actually the best known, were being brought toward the market, all of the companies involved had to bring these drugs onto the market, gave them to healthy volunteers, and witnessed reaction rather like the ones that ultimately led Shane Cooke to do the things that he did while he was on the drug. So I think you can actually say quite clearly that yes, the drugs in their own right, quite apart from any nervous problems that the person may be treated for, can cause this kind of problem.
So in your opinion, do you agree with Shane's foster mother that the government advice should be widened to include all patients?
Yes, I do. There's no great reason to believe that once we pass the age of 18, that the risks posed by the drugs stop. I think these are risks that actually apply to all people. I think the MHRA have done the right thing, however, in focusing first in on a group of people who are particularly vulnerable, that's children and teenagers. Vulnerable for two reasons. First of all, because, well, they may be more at risk for what happens to the drug. They may be less likely to get the good things that these drugs can do for very many people, but also because often they're in a trickier kind of position. You and I, if things begin to go wrong on the drugs, can say to our GP that, look, things are actually going wrong with the drugs. But for children and teenagers, what can happen is that they say that things are actually going on with the parents, and their parents think...
We'll have to unfortunately leave it there. A couple of problems with the line, but thank you very much for joining us. And who claimed antidepressant drugs drove her to Wales, Britain. A North Wales man imprisoned after he crashed his car into a hospital psychiatric unit has blamed the antidepressant Seroxat for changing his personality and causing wild mood swings. 23-year-old Shane Cooke has just been released from prison after serving 10 months. He was sentenced after he smashed his car into a Buckingham Cooke near Bottle Ribbon. Glenn Goodman went along to hear his story.
Shane Cooke seems a changed man. Since he got out of prison on Thursday, he's been enjoying time spent with his family. And thanks to his current cocktail of drugs, his depression and anxiety are under control. But last year, things were very different. He started taking the drug Seroxat for depression, and that's when he believes things took a dramatic turn for the worse.
Like someone else you told me, about behind me, and I was in control of myself. I was just a completely different person.
It was here at a sputty gland fluid in Bodden Witham that the incident took place, which led directly to Shane Cooke's imprisonment. He drove his car straight through the front doors of the psychiatric unit behind me here and drove it through into the reception area. Shane was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and served 10 months. He believes the experience has helped him.
The group support staff were brilliant with me, and so called the health care staff as well. And my cellmate was like a very good counsellor to me.
Seroxat is an antidepressant made by pharmaceuticals giant GlaxoSmithKline. They say it's an effective treatment that has helped tens of millions and that it tends to reduce violence and aggression. Few people dispute that, but a minority of people feel it's brought out quite a different reaction in them.
I think the risks are that the drugs can make you anxious and can make some people take risks themselves, and some people risk to other people because they become more anxious, more worked up on the drugs.
For Shane's family, this is all about awareness. They want to warn people of what they believe can happen after taking Seroxat, but if people do take it, they and their families should watch out for unexpected reactions.
Send with the reporting.